What really happened that night in Paris? Why did Kim Taehyung's unexpected return to the Celine runway spark whispers of destiny, emotion, and a reunion the world didn't see coming? Stay until the end. This is not just a story. It's an unforgettable moment you'll want to comment, like, and share. What if fate could be seen under the shimmering lights of Paris? What if one unannounced appearance could rewrite not just a night, but an entire chapter of fashion history? On a chilly October evening in 2025, as the Eiffel Tower glowed golden in the distance, the City of Lights became the stage for one of the most breathtaking and emotional comebacks of the year. Kim Taehyung, the global icon, stepping back into the world's gaze at the Celine show. Was it planned, or was it destiny unfolding before her eyes? Before you decide, stay with this story till the end, because what happened in that Parisian hall wasn't just fashion, it was fate meeting fame in the most cinematic way possible. It began like any other high-profile night at Paris Fashion Week. Cameras flash, the crowd murmured, and the world's most influential figures gathered to witness Celine's newest collection. Yet something felt different. Whispers floated through the air like static before a storm. The audience sensed something coming, though no one could name it, until the lights dimmed, and in that brief silence, the crowd collectively held its breath. And then, he appeared. Kim Taehyung, known globally as V of BTS, walked in with a calm so powerful it seemed to silence the world. Dressed in Celine's newest tailored masterpiece, his aura carried both nostalgia and rebirth. The comeback everyone had been waiting for, but no one expected to happen. This way was happening right there, under the silver glow of Parisian chandeliers. Is this real? One voice whispered from the audience, echoing the thought shared by millions watching live streams across the globe. Fans had speculated for months about his return, but no one predicted it would unfold here, on Celine's exclusive runway. The surprise wasn't just that Kim Taehyung was there, it was how he appeared, how he owned the moment as though Paris had been waiting for him all along. The energy in the room shifted instantly. Models paused slightly, photographers scrambled for the perfect shot, and even the city itself seemed to slow its heartbeat. The man once called the human art piece was back, and every inch of him told a story. From his effortless stride to the quiet glint in his eyes, Taehyung seemed to merge his past and present in one unspoken statement. He had returned, not as an idol, but as an icon reborn. There was something ethereal in his presence, something beyond fashion. The audience wasn't just watching clothes, they were watching history take shape. The last time Kim Taehyung appeared at a Celine event, the internet broke in admiration. But this time, it wasn't just admiration, it was awe. It was as if Paris had opened its arms once more, welcoming back the man who could command silence with a glance. Speculation spread like wildfire. Was this a planned collaboration or a sudden reunion between Taehyung and Celine's creative director, Hedy Slimane? Some claim to have seen them exchange a knowing smile backstage, a gesture loaded with memories of their past artistic partnership. Others insisted it was spontaneous, that Celine itself hadn't announced him until the last minute to create an unforgettable shockwave. Whatever the truth, one thing was undeniable. Kim Taehyung's reappearance had transformed a simple fashion event into a moment of emotional and cultural gravity. Social media exploded within minutes. He's back, Kim Taehyung owns Paris again, the ex-Celine equals timeless magic, the hashtags trended worldwide before the show even ended. Fans and celebrities alike poured their reactions online, describing how his aura transcended the fabric he wore. Some even confessed they cried seeing him walk again in Paris, the city where he first captured the fashion world's heart years ago. Yet the most unforgettable part wasn't just his look, it was the unexpected reunion that followed. Reports whispered of a behind-the-scenes encounter, a meeting long awaited between Kim Taehyung and someone who had been instrumental in shaping his earlier fashion journey. Eyewitnesses claimed there was a brief but emotional exchange, a soft laugh, a hand on the shoulder, eyes that spoke of both gratitude and longing. No cameras captured it, yet the energy of that moment rippled through the venue like a quiet secret shared among dreamers. It wasn't just a meeting of artist and designer, it was a reunion of spirits, an intersection of paths that seemed destined to cross again. For a second, Paris didn't feel like a city, it felt like a heartbeat. And Kim Taehyung stood at its center, his gaze steady, his smile carrying the calm of a man who knows he's exactly where he's meant to be. The internet turned poetic that night. Fans described the event not as a fashion comeback, but as a visual symphony, a poem written in movement. Others compared it to a cinematic scene. Paris, October air, a glowing runway, and Taehyung walking through it like a dream resurrected. There were even those who speculated deeper meanings behind his outfit. The black velvet jacket symbolizing rebirth, the silver details representing reflection, the unbuttoned collar metaphor for freedom. Whether intentional or not, it all added to the mystique that surrounded his return. But perhaps what moved people most was his demeanor. Despite the chaos, the flashing lights, and the feverish excitement, Kim Taehyung remained gentle, almost introspective. He greeted fans with a smile that carried both warmth and melancholy, a smile that said, "I'm back, but I've changed." That emotional duality, the joy of return mixed with the quiet gravity of growth, became the soul of the evening. As the show ended, applause thundered through the hall. Yet even after the lights came up and the models disappeared backstage, the audience stayed rooted, as if unwilling to let the moment end. Cameras kept rolling, fans kept screaming his name. But Kim Taehyung only turned once more toward the crowd, bowed lightly, and disappeared behind the velvet curtain. That was it? A brief moment, and yet it felt eternal. Back outside, Paris pulsed with new energy. Streets buzzed with conversation. Cafes filled with people replaying videos on their phones. Tears and laughter blending into one shared emotion. Wonder. The Eiffel Tower sparkled again, almost as if celebrating the return of one of its most beloved muses. By midnight, headlines across the world read the same. Kim Taehyung's Paris comeback. The reunion that stopped time. Analysts called it a marketing masterstroke. But those who witnessed it in person knew it was more than strategy. It was art meeting soul, an emotional collision of past and present that no press release could ever fully capture. In interviews days later, insiders close to the Celine team hinted that this might be just the beginning. There's something deeper brewing, one stylist reportedly said. What you saw in Paris wasn't the end, it was the opening. Scene, could this mean a new collaboration, a campaign? Perhaps even Taehyung's involvement in Celine's creative direction? No one could say for sure, but the world was watching, and the anticipation grew louder by the hour. Even now, weeks later, videos of that night continue to circulate, drawing millions of views. People comment endlessly, not just on his beauty or his outfit, but on the feeling he brought into that room. A kind of rare presence that can't be staged or rehearsed, a reminder that true artistry isn't about perfection, but about presence. And that's the secret Kim Taehyung seems to understand better than anyone. His return wasn't about reclaiming fame, it was about reclaiming essence. The essence of who he is, what he represents, and why the world can't stop watching. He's not chasing the spotlight. The spotlight follows him, because in every sense, he is the light. So, what was it that made Paris stop that night? Was it the clothes, the mystery, the man, or something greater? Something that only happens when art and emotion collide in the right place, at the right time. Whatever it was, one truth remains undeniable. Kim Taehyung's comeback wasn't a performance. It was a moment of truth wrapped in elegance. A whisper that turned into a roar. A reminder that legends don't return, they rise. And as you reach the end of this story, ask yourself, where were you when Kim Taehyung came back to Paris? Were you watching the live stream? Scrolling through the flood of posts? Or feeling the shiver of deja vu as his face lit up your screen? However you witnessed it, you were part of it, part of a global heartbeat that pulsed in unison that night. Because sometimes, one moment can change everything. Sometimes, a single walk down a runway can become the kind of story that makes the world believe in magic again. And if you believe it too, if you felt even a spark of that emotion, then don't just read this story, comment, like, share, let the world know that you were there for that night in Paris. The night Kim Taehyung returned, and the universe stood still.